Welcome, dear viewers. Great to see you again on the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and mind-bending philosophical concepts of our time, Nick Bostrom's simulation theory. Get comfortable, because after this video, you might start looking at the reality around you with completely different eyes. Who is Nick Bostrom? Before we get to the theory itself, let's meet its author. Nick Bostrom is a Swedish philosopher, professor at Oxford University, and director of the Future of Humanity Institute. This man has dedicated his life to studying existential risks, artificial intelligence, and philosophical questions related to the future of our civilization. In 2003, he published a paper that literally blew the minds of scientists, philosophers, and ordinary people around the world. The essence of the simulation argument. Imagine that all our reality is an incredibly complex computer program created by a highly advanced civilization. Everything you see, feel, and think is just code running on a supercomputer from the future. Sounds like a science fiction movie plot? Perhaps, but Bostrom offers a rigorous logical justification for why this idea deserves serious consideration. Bostrom's argument is based on simple but elegant logic. He claims that one of three statements must be true. First, human civilization will almost certainly go extinct before reaching a technological level that allows creating realistic simulations of consciousness. Second, even if civilization reaches such a level, for some reason it won't create simulations of its ancestors. Third, we are almost certainly living in a simulation. Let's break down each statement in more detail. The first option, the Great Filter. The first possibility assumes the existence of the so-called Great Filter, some barrier that civilizations cannot overcome. Perhaps advanced civilizations destroy themselves in nuclear wars, ecological catastrophes, or due to uncontrolled artificial intelligence. Maybe there are physical limitations that make creating full-fledged simulations impossible. This is a grim scenario, but it has some basis. History shows that with each technological breakthrough, humanity gains increasingly powerful tools for self-destruction. Nuclear weapons, biological pathogens, potentially hostile artificial intelligence. All of this could be that very filter. The second option, ethical prohibition. The second possibility suggests that highly advanced civilizations are technically capable of creating simulations but consciously refuse to do so. The reasons could be ethical. Perhaps creating conscious beings in a simulation is considered morally unacceptable. It's like playing God, creating entire universes of sentient beings who don't even suspect their true nature. Imagine, you've created a simulation populated by billions of conscious beings. They love, suffer, dream, and die. Do you have the right to create such a reality? Maybe advanced civilizations conclude that this is unacceptable and impose a strict ban on such experiments. Or perhaps interest in ancestor simulations simply fades. Civilization develops to such an extent that studying one's own past through simulations seems like a primitive or uninteresting activity. The third option, we're in a simulation. And now for the most interesting part. If the first two statements are false, that is, civilizations survive and create simulations, then mathematics leads us to a stunning conclusion. One post-human civilization can create millions, billions, trillions of simulations. The ratio of real worlds to simulated ones becomes astronomically small. Think about it this way. If there is at least one real civilization capable of creating simulations, and it creates thousands of such simulations, then the number of simulated realities will exceed the number of base realities by thousands of times. And if each simulated civilization can also create its own simulations, the number grows exponentially. From a statistical standpoint, if most realities are simulations, then the probability that our particular reality is the base one becomes negligible. It's like if you pulled one ball from an urn containing one red ball and a million blue ones. What are the chances you'd pull out the red one? Technological prerequisites. But is this technically possible? Bostrom argues yes, modern computers are already capable of creating impressive virtual worlds. Video games become more realistic with each passing year. If we extrapolate this progress hundreds or thousands of years into the future, the idea of a full-fledged simulation of reality doesn't seem so fantastic. A computer of the future could operate at the quantum level, using computational power we can't even imagine. Perhaps entire star systems will be transformed into giant computers, so-called Dyson spheres, using a star's energy for calculations. Such a computer could simulate not only the physical laws of our universe, but also the consciousness of billions of individuals, each with their own thoughts, memories, and experiences. Moreover, the simulated beings wouldn't be able to distinguish their reality from the base one. Philosophical implications. Simulation theory raises the deepest philosophical questions. What is reality? If our world is a simulation, does that make it less real? If you feel pain, love, joy, does it matter whether this happens in base reality or in a simulation? Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." Even if everything around is an illusion, the very fact of your conscious experience remains indisputable. Simulation or not, your experiences are real to you. Moreover, if we live in a simulation, it doesn't cancel the importance of our actions, morality, ethics. Suffering remains suffering, happiness remains happiness, regardless of the nature of the underlying reality. Possible signs of simulation. Some scientists and philosophers try to find signs that we're living in a simulation. One proposed method is searching for glitches in the matrix, anomalies in physical laws that could indicate limitations of the computational system. For example, quantum mechanics with its strange behavior of particles at the subatomic level. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle can be interpreted as an optimization mechanism. Why calculate the exact position and velocity of a particle if no one is observing? The simulation might render details only when necessary, like a video game loads textures only for objects visible to the player. Or take the speed of light, a fundamental limitation on information transmission in the universe. Isn't this analogous to the tick rate in a computer game? The maximum speed at which the simulation can update? Some physicists suggest that the Planck length, the minimum scale of space, could be something like a pixel of simulated reality. Criticism of the theory. Of course, simulation theory has its critics. Some philosophers point to logical problems in Bostrom's argumentation. Others question the technical possibility of creating full-fledged consciousness in a simulation. There's also the problem of infinite regression. If we're in a simulation, who simulates those who simulate us? And so on to infinity. Although Bostrom responds that the chain must end somewhere, in base reality. Critics also note that simulation theory is untestable. If the simulation is perfect enough, we by definition cannot find proof that we're in it. This makes the theory more like a philosophical exercise than a scientific hypothesis. Practical significance. You might ask, what difference does it make whether we live in a simulation or not? Does it change anything in our daily lives? From a practical standpoint, probably not. The laws of physics work the same way, regardless of whether they're real or programmed. We still need to eat, sleep, work, care for loved ones. But on a deeper level, this idea changes our view of existence. It reminds us of the limits of our knowledge, that reality might be much stranger and more amazing than it appears at first glance. Simulation theory also has interesting implications for the problem of the existence of God or a higher intelligence. The creators of the simulation would be like gods to us, omnipotent, all-seeing, capable of changing the laws of our world at will. Connection to modern technologies. In the age of virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and neural networks, simulation theory sounds especially relevant. We're already creating primitive simulations, virtual worlds in which people spend a significant portion of their time. The development of brain-computer interface technologies, such as Neuralink, raises the question, when will virtual reality become indistinguishable from base reality? What will happen when we can directly upload sensations to the brain, bypassing the sense organs? If humanity doesn't destroy itself and continues technological progress, creating full-fledged simulations of consciousness could become reality in just a few centuries. And then Bostrom's argument will become even more relevant. Bostrom's simulation theory is more than a philosophical puzzle. It's an invitation to think about the nature of reality, our place in the universe, the boundaries of knowledge. Regardless of whether we live in a simulation or not, the very possibility of it expands our understanding of what existence can mean. Perhaps we'll never know for sure whether we're in a simulation, but the search for an answer to this question makes us explore physics, philosophy, and the nature of consciousness more deeply. And in this journey, we discover amazing truths about our world and ourselves. Remember, even if this is just a simulation, it's yours. Your experience, your relationships, your life matter. Reality is not what exists independently of us, but what we experience every day. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I hope you found the topic of simulation theory as fascinating as I do. If you have your own thoughts on this, please share them in the comments. Are we living in a simulation? Would you want to know the truth if such an opportunity arose? Don't forget to hit the like button if the video was useful and interesting, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you don't miss new episodes. We have many more exciting topics ahead. See you in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and remember, whether it's a simulation or not, every moment of your life is unique and valuable. See you later.